Hey, my name is David Rovics, and I'm going to talk a bit about music, censorship, and social movements, which all somehow work together quite well. Um, I've been a musician since the touring and playing music of a topical political nature since the 90s, and been dealing with pretty overt forms of censorship and career suppression efforts, often quite above ground and obvious, since the second Intifada, since 26 years ago. And I write a lot about Palestine. And for that and other reasons, my YouTube channel was deleted a couple months ago, brought back by popular demand, but I still can't access it at the moment. And all my albums were deleted from YouTube Music. And there's been journalists who have lost their jobs at prominent networks, possibly for playing my music. And I could go on about this sort of thing. It turns out that my experiences with this kind of suppression are not at all unique. There's a whole lot of other stories of a whole lot of other artists doing similar kinds of music over the past century who have far worse stories of suppression, right up to and including assassination. And and there's a reason for that, and it's because around the world today and for a very long time, most everybody is aware who's involved with resistance movements or social movements of any kind. They're aware that music and culture is the beating heart of any resistance movement. That's an awareness that used to be pervasive throughout the U.S. and throughout the English-speaking world as well, which is a part of the world that's produced a whole lot of great music. But this awareness has decreased a lot over time, especially over the past 20 years or so. And I absolutely and squarely blame the power of the rumor mill combined with the propaganda machine represented by the phenomenon we call social media, which has done a great job of brainwashing a lot of people even more thoroughly than was possible prior to these incredible technological developments. But it's been well known for a long time that music is the beating heart of the resistance, and the powers that be have known that for a long time too. And all this time that there's been social movements that have been very much rooted in music and culture, there have been efforts to suppress those movements and to misdirect people and make sure that they understand that music and culture are frivolous and silly things and they should be focusing on something else. All kinds of different arguments for that. But when you look back at the industrial workers of the world in the early 20th century and their great successes organizing the working class and the efforts that were so successful in the 1930s, led by the Communist Party in the same kind of vein, the efforts of the civil rights movement in the 50s and 60s and the anti-war movement in the 60s and 70s, you find movements that were all powerfully rooted in music and culture and very self-consciously so. And that had such a tremendous impact on winning the hearts and minds of millions of people to the cause of racial equality and the cause against militarism. Uh, these were tremendously powerful and influential movements, and the use of music in these movements was tremendously part of that. The powers that be noticed, and they've been working to suppress culture before and since. And I would like to beseech everybody listening in the world who might have anything to do with any kind of a social movement to heed these lessons from history and remember that music is a tremendously powerful tool for organizing, and we ignore that fact at our collective peril. Thank you.